What's up, everyone? My name is Josh, and this is Josh Unboxed, and this is the Daily Grind, where I talk about a particular card that I feel has either one, short-term value, long-term value, or a card I feel is a long-term stash, a long-term hold. In my last video in this series, I talked about the 2019 Fernando Tatis Jr. Topps Heritage PSA 10, or even raw cards for that matter, as a good short-term hold, because with the baseball season coming up next year soon, and also as a long-term hold in terms of a year, 2 years from now, depending on how good he really is. But I think a year would also be a good opportunity as well. Today we're going to still keep in line with baseball, and we're going to talk about one card in particular, and that is the Derek Jeter 1993 SP foil card. Derek Jeter's rookie, and one of the toughest cards to get a grade 10 in, PSA 10 in. In order to understand this mindset though, this is a card that I feel is a very, very long-term hold. I know he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame hopefully next year, pending anything going on with COVID, and hopefully everything dies down and we can finally have a proper Hall of Fame ceremony for him. But also as a very, very long-term hold. Now, I know it's not sexy or anything like that. It's not a guy that I feel that, buy his cards now cheap and then they'll go up, you'll get 4 or 5x within the next couple of months. No, this is not one of those plays. This is not one of those discussions. And before we do a deep dive on the research and the data, I just want to talk about what I'm going to be comparing it to. And I know it's not a one-to-one comparison. However, we're looking at just the dollar value or the discrepancy in the dollar value between these two cards. And the card I'm going to try to compare it to is the 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie card. Now, I know, like I said, basketball and baseball, apples to oranges, it's not a one-to-one comparison. Plus, Michael Jordan, generational talent, best basketball player, well, arguably the best basketball player of all time. 6 championships, 6-0 in the finals, many scoring titles, one of the best players ever. The Jordan brand is huge, especially in the sneaker culture. So Michael Jordan really has a lot going for him in that card, and with basketball being a more global sport, more popular, more eyes on it, more people wanting that card. And with Derek Jeter, the thing about him, I always think about him as who he is as a player. One of the most highly respected professional athletes ever. 5 championships with the Yankees. Played for the Yankees his whole entire career. Great clutch moments in the playoffs. Guy's a winner. And I feel that there's plenty of opportunity with this card. Not just with the 1993 SP, but you could apply this to his Stadium Club Murphy. You could apply it to his Topps Gold, his Topps Flagship rookie, his Score rookie, his Pinnacle rookie. You can apply this to a lot of Jeter rookie cards. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually look into the pop reports of each card, of the 2 cards of the 86 Fleer Jordan and the 93 SP Jeter, and then you're going to see some similarities in terms of the pop report. And then we're going to look at card ladder, and we're going to look at the dollar amounts that each card in a particular grade sold for last. And then we'll come up with a conclusion on whether is it a good buy to buy Derek Jeter or is it not. We're going to go through the research and we're going to look at it. I'm high on the Derek Jeter card. I've been buying some of them myself at any price that I can that's quite reasonable. I've been following the PSA 8 market because the PSA 10, it's a low pop it. You'll see it's like 21 cards or something like that. 21 cards, and most people are going to be holding on to that long term. There is one up for sale right now, I believe, on eBay, and the guy through PWCC, and the guy has it listed for $500,000 or best offer. I have a feeling that the guy's willing to let it go for $250,000, $300,000, but it's not to say that it won't reach that $500,000 mark. But once that card sells, I think the PSA 9 will rise, the 8, and and so on and so forth. Obviously, if the 10 goes for a certain amount, then we will see a small bump in the 9. Maybe the 8 will trickle a little bit after that because the 8 has actually a higher pop report. But we're going to go ahead and share the screen, and we're going to take a look at this card. Right here, I have the PSA pop report up for the 1993 SP Derek Jeter. And as you can see here, like I said, the PSA 10, it's only 21. 21 PSA 10s out of a total of 17,000 graded. 600 PSA 9s out of that 17,000. And then here now, we get a majority of the 8s, a very small amount of 8.5s. We have the 7s, the 6s, 5s, 4, 3, 2, and then a 1 here. Now, if we compare this to the Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer, you'll see here PSA 10 pop report is about 317. We got 2,700 of the 9s, which is a lot more than the Jeters. We got an almost equal amount of the 8s, with the Jeters having a little more. We have a little less of the 7s, with the Jeters having more. And then as you see here, there's just more of the other grades versus the Jeters. And then you'll also see here that the total pop report of the Jordan is a little more. Now we're going to dive in a little more deeper and look at the BGS pop reports as well. So I pulled up the Derek Jeter BGS pop report here for the 1993 SP. You'll see the gem mints here, 9.5 is 270. We got 2,800 of the 9. We got 5,000s of the 8.5s. We got 3,000s, almost 4,000s of the 8.0s. When we look at Jordan, we see almost a similar concept as well. We got 526 of the 9.5. We got 610s. We got about 1,600 9s, 2,500 8.5s, and 2,008s. So as you can see, the cards are quite similar when it comes to their pop reports. But when we dive into the prices of the cards, we're going to see a huge discrepancy. But like I said, disclaimer, it's basketball to baseball. Michael Jordan, generational talent, one of the best in the game, arguably the GOAT, versus Derek Jeter, who is not even the GOAT in baseball. So, but he's still a highly respectable player, still a very good player. But here we go. We're going to pull up the card ladder data for the Michael Jordan PSA Fleer 1986. So you see here, the last sold for the Michael Jordan PSA 10 was a $208,000 card. And we look at the pop report here, it's 317. PSA 9 last sold for 25,000. That's a 2,700 pop report. PSA 8, 8,500 with a 7,706 pop report. PSA 7, 5,300, 3,000 pop report. And then we went down to the PSA 6 as well, and we have about $4,000 almost for 1,600. So you can see here as the prices are in the 4-figure mark for these Michael Jordan cards. Now, when we pull up the 1993 SP Derek Jeter card, you'll see here last sold PSA 10, 140,000 with a pop report of 21. PSA 9s are at 7,600 with a pop report of 608. 8s, surprisingly, are still at 654. I think for the past month or so, I've seen sales ranging between 515, 530, up to this 650. And then the PSA 7s, it's a much lower price at 275, and then the 6, we have $184. Now, if we look at these, we see that there's a huge discrepancy between the 9s and the 8s in terms of value, in terms of multiplier. Whereas with the Jordan, you see the 9s and the 8s here. Still, the 9s are very expensive at $25,000 and $8,000 PSA 8. Like I said, this is like apples to oranges. But when I think about this card, I think of when I was a kid collecting cards in the 90s. I collected basketball cards in the 90s. I was a Penny Hardaway collector. I still like Jordan too. But when I got older, or when I was collecting cards, I'd always look at Beckett and I always look at that 1986 Michael Jordan Fleer card and say to myself, man, I wish I could get that card. Fast forward to now, I still wish I could get that card. However, I wish I would have jumped onto that card much sooner. If I was still collecting back in 2010 or even 2006, I probably would have bought a couple of them just to hang on because it's such an iconic card. Now I'm going to use that same mindset for this 1993 SP Derek Jeter. Because how many times have you told yourself, man, I wish that I could go back in time and just buy a couple of more of those cards and hang on to them. I think that this 1993 SP Derek Jeter card has that opportunity. It might not happen right away. I mean, he's going to get inducted to the Hall of Fame this coming year in 2021. We might see a slight bump there, but I'm looking at this card for years down the line, something like to like kind of hold. I call these types of cards stash and stack, you know. So this is a long-term hold for me. It's a card that I truly do believe, and I feel that at $600, $700, this Derek Jeter PSA 8 is still on the kind of on the low end. I know with this card, it's difficult to grip because it's an all foil card, prone to scratches, prone to edge wear, prone to corner issues, even right out the pack. So to get a PSA 10 is unattainable for me personally because the asking price is too high. The fact that the people who do have the card are probably holding on to it long term. PSA 9, we're still reaching at a high price point. I think I'm kind of priced out of that myself. And then the PSA 8 is something that's attainable, and that's what I've been buying. I've got a few 7s as well. But this is a card that I'm looking at for the future, 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line. And I believe that this card will slowly appreciate over time. And it's crazy just looking at the card and seeing how much of a gap there is between the 9 and the 8. And in terms of condition, it can be noticeable because the 9 is almost as pristine as possible, but an 8, you know, is prone to like surface scratches, edge wear, corner damage, what have you. But I believe that, you know, PSA 8s are a good buy. I mean, that's my opinion. You can even try 8.5s and try to cross it over to PSA and get an 8, because even the BGS 8.5s are being sold at a much lower price than the PSA 8s. So you find a BGS 8.5 with good surface, good corners and good edges, you know, decent enough, then you could potentially cross it over or crack it out and submit it to PSA to try to get that PSA 8, and you probably turned a $400 card, $450 card to a $650 card right there. But I'm very high on the Derek Jeter card. Like I said, when I think about Derek Jeter, I think about the most highly respected, one of the most highly respected professional athletes in the world, a winner, a champion, clutch. You know, there's a lot of things. A Yankee. There's a lot of things. He has a lot of things going for him. He checks a lot of boxes. The 1993 SP Derek Jeter card is considered one of the most iconic rookie cards in the 90s. So why not? Why not get a couple of those and hang on to those and see where it goes in the future? You know, just like the Michael Jordan 86 card, the 86 Fleer, he checks actually all the boxes. You know, iconic card, iconic set, generational talent, a champion, a winner, greatest of all time. So that recipe there, that alone causes Michael Jordan to go into a different stratosphere than Derek Jeter. However, it doesn't mean that these Derek Jeter cards don't have value, especially the PSA 8s and the 7s. But, you know, these are just my thoughts on the card. I feel I'm very bullish on this. And this is a card I'm looking to stash myself, stack and stash myself. So I think that's it. That's all I have to say about this card. Let me know your thoughts. If you have different opinions, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, these are just my thoughts. We went and did somewhat of a quick deep dive into the pop reports of both the PSA and BGS pop reports. We took a look at card ladder and the dollar values of the cards, and hopefully we can come to a conclusion, or I came to the conclusion myself, that the PSA 8 is a good buy for this card, and just waiting to see what happens. But like I said, this is just my thoughts. These are just my opinions. As always, you know, you guys can do your own research. If you guys agree or disagree, that's perfectly fine. You know, just leave a comment down below. We can discuss about it. More respect to you guys to have a different opinion. I'm just stating what I feel and what I see based off the data that I see. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys found some value in this. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you disagree with me, go ahead and hit the thumbs down button. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, the aim of this series is to give plays without having you have to pay for a membership. I think that's ridiculous. There's no point in paying a membership if you can do the research yourself. We just did a quick research. We just did a quick search on PSA pop reports, BGS pop reports, dollar values, and we came to a conclusion that way. It's as simple as that. It's as quick as that. Like I said, this overall purpose of this video, purpose of the series is to do things like this, to be able to provide value like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Consider subscribing if you enjoy the content, and if you want to see more of this, hit that bell notification for updates. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.